Well, we continue to make some new crop sales in here, and today we're going to discuss kind of how we formulate a marketing plan and why we're executing on things the way that we are. Keep in mind, everything that we're discussing is for education and example purposes. Make sure that you understand and know your own risk tolerance as we go through the information. So managing farm risk, let's just start with the big picture, right? There's really two scenarios we're going to talk about on the macro side of things. You manage your risk by deciding what kind of crop rotation you're going to use. A lot of that times, of course, is determined by futures. Maybe it's based on your, agronomy rotation, but nonetheless, you're diversifying your farm by not planting 100% corn. You might do 70% corn and 30% beans, or 50-50. You get the idea. The other way that we go about managing risk is when it comes down to marketing. And how we like to do it here at Prime Ag is look at a third theory. And we start with cash sales, and then we use somewhat of an option strategy. And then we look at leaving the rest of our bushels open or do nothing. You can always adjust this based on your own risk tolerance. But again, this is going to provide you some diversification across your marketing sales. So how we determine our marketing plan is, first off, we look at kind of the crop scenario. So let's just take corn and beans here for now. What are the fundamental reasons to maybe be more aggressive on beans compared to, say, corn? What are the charts telling us, or some of the technical setups out here? Then we also want to consider, how do we make the sale? How much are we going to allocate to just cash sales when we get to values we want to protect? How much do we want to allocate to maybe an option strategy where we have some room to the upside, but maybe we're also giving up a little bit of downside? And then how much do we want to have on open risk, where the top side and downside can carry significant opportunities or drawbacks, I guess, depending on how you want to look at it. And then finally, we're always getting new information as we go throughout the year. So how are we going to follow through with our sales? How are we going to adjust as we get new information? And then at the end of the year, we need to evaluate and kind of figure out what we would tweak to do differently. Here's an example of our soybean marketing plan. And what we're doing is using a producer here that's got about 60,000 bushels estimated production. Okay, they're a 1,000-acre farmer with an APH of about 60. And we've been pretty aggressive. Let's just say you get 30,000 of your bushels, or about half, sold around a 1060 board price. And then you go out and do another 10,000 bushels on just an option strategy. In this case, you look at buying a 1040 put. That's going to cost you 50 cents. If you go down towards the bottom of that strategy summary, you can see where your futures average and your dollar per acre gross revenue is going to be across different future scenarios. So just going to the extremes, if you have 850 beans in the fall, you'll have a 978 board average, or 587 an acre. Now, if you go to 13, your average is only going to be 1172. You're still going to net 703. A lot of that obviously is going to be pulled back by the early cash sales. But why are we doing, and why are we so aggressive on cash beans? Well, first of all, the fundamentals just aren't that strong. Okay, world stocks are relatively high. U.S. ending stocks remain high. And Brazil is expected to grow a good crop. So we've been a little bit more aggressive. The other thing is, we can't afford to have beans below 10. And so when we look at buying a put, that still keeps us right around that that $10 board average price. And that's going to hold us up. Now, if the market goes to 13, sure, you can sit here and say, man, I wish we could have done better. But we got to remember that for our entire farm operation as a whole, we also have next year's crop to sell, and good prices and higher prices is a good problem to have. So when we sit here from our side of the desk and look at putting together a marketing plan, we have to ask ourselves, what can we live with? And this is part of the decision-making process. We can't live with being forced to sell bushels below $10 on beans. We can live with the market going 13 and our average price being a little bit lower. Now, keep in mind, this is our plan. You can tweak yours based on your own risk tolerance. What we try and focus on is making sales at profitable or historically good values as we put out our recommendations. So let's just kind of wrap everything up. Like we said, make sure you're spreading out risk between crops, right? You're not just planting beans, you're planting corns and beans. Maybe you're planting wheat. You might have some livestock. That's one way that you're spreading out or diversifying risk throughout your operation. The next step then is to figure out how you want to diversify this for your sales strategy. For us, we like to follow generally a third in cash or board or HTA. We like to do a third on some sort of option strategy, and we'll generally leave a third open. I know that doesn't come out to 100%, but give or take, you get where we're coming from. Then lastly, we just want to make sure that we evaluate and follow through. Remember, the information changes. We can have weather scares. We can have more acres, less acres. All those things are uncertain. What we have to focus on is making decisions at profitable levels. And then if there's some new information that we really need to adjust our plan to, we can do that. Keep in mind, you're always long. So as long as you're planting a crop again, you're going to have another crop to sell. If prices go up, we always view that that's a good problem to have. We can find some more bushels to reward with those higher prices. Keep in mind, our whole theory and our whole philosophy here is selling when you want to, not when you have to. So going back to our bean example, like we said, we don't want to be forced to make sales below $10 board on beans. So that's why we're taking steps in here right now to make some sales based on the information that we have. As we get a little bit firmer up here on our cash strategy, like we said, we'll probably look at going to some puts. That's going to give us some upside potential, but still going to protect that $10 level for us. If you guys have questions, feel free to reach out to us. If you need help with a marketing plan, we do that here in the office. We can certainly get you signed up for something like that. Give us a call. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, we enjoy making this content for you.